I've, I've made a little bit of progress. I've got back pain, so I'm going to stop. I've drawn the overhang 35mm from that line. I've drawn it all in. Now I want to show you how your drawing it starts to accumulate errors due to pencil lines and rulers and your eyesight and these dividers as you make them, as you open them up, they get more and more inaccurate because these angles are changing. And I want to show you the accumulation of the error. It started, look, can you see it will not hit? It will not, the centre's started to drift because every time I put the divider in there, that centre point's gone now. I can't find it anymore. So you've just got to take the line and accept the line that you've got. So you just take what you've got and put it on there and leave it. Okay, there's nothing you can do. It's just, the more you try to, look, I tried to rub it out, it's just getting worse and worse. And every time I stick that needle in there, I can't find that centre anymore. They need to put a piece of paper over it and start again. That's what you usually do. You know, you can't find it. It just keeps moving. If it moves there. It's different. Every time it moves, this one's barely hit. But this one's really bad. I mean, it's 115. It's done a calculation somewhere. This is 35 from there. And 35 from there. From that centre, it's 115, isn't it? 80 plus 35 is 115. So you try to put that on there, and you've drawn this line, you know, and you're getting more and more error because these errors are building up. If you were to do it just from the centre line, you knew every single dimension, and you just did it from the centre line, the long dimension and dropped it, and the long dimension and dropped it from over there, you'd only have this accumulation. But if you're coming off multiple lines in that direction and multiple lines in that direction, your errors are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're spreading. And this is how much it's spread by over this whole drawing. It will not join. There's no way it's going to join anymore because the error is in there. This is the accurate part, as accurate as it can be, right? That's as accurate bit. Every time you shove that needle in there, look, it's changing. It's drawing. It's not drawing on the point anymore. It's drawing off the side of the pencil. Let's see. If this is your pencil and it's exaggerated, when you spread that divider, the further you spread that leg out, the less it's going perpendicular. It's no longer perpendicular in there. It's rubbing there. It's picking up the paper off there. When you stick that in, it starts rubbing here, up that somewhere up there, which is not the same. And that's what's happening here. This is what's happening. You put that on there and it's not touching. It's just not touching. The angles are changing continuously. It's going all over the shop. It has gone everywhere. That is 115. You can check it as much as you like. No matter what you do. Put it in there. Stick it on there. It can't be anything else, can it? You've done to that ruler. This is the ruler I'm using throughout. I have to do it to this ruler. I have to take all my measurements off this ruler. That's what I've been doing. There's nothing. Every time I shove that in there, it falls in a different place. The only way I could do it is to project that line down there and go 35. Same thing. Just have to do the same thing. You'd have to, and then join these lines up. You'd have to join that tangent line up. So well, you know, that's the only way to do it. So if I carry on projecting this line down and I keep it bang on, when it gets down there and I come off there this way, and then I do the divided and stuff, it'll be less accumulated error, but the error accumulates. You just have to fix this drawing best way you can. All I want to do is I want to find out what this plate looks like, the top one, the one I'm going on. I can't cut it that accurate. I cannot cut it that accurate. This is getting left where it is. I can't cut this that accurate. I'll never get this straight cut. Well, it's monkey donkey. I'll never get it cut. I never do. It's with the limit of the error of the jigsaw blade and my filing and my sanding. So my sanding's going to make this look like a approximation of a circle. Every circle ever been made by man or machine is an approximation. It's not accurate. It's not. There's only one thing that's spherical ball. I think that's accurate. Every circle. CNC machines do not make perfect circles. They make fragments of lines. You can't see it. The program. What is it? I don't know. Circle thing. I can't remember it. It's one of the G, and it's got an I and a J and all sorts of garbage in it. CNC machine. When it draws a circle, it does not draw a circle. That cutter comes round. There's a circular interpolation algorithm running, and it uses one of the developed by some Breezen or something. One of them short-run formulas, because it's having to do what's called look ahead, and it draws a line fragment, and it draws a line fragment, and it draws a line fragment, and it's accumulating error and error and error. You'll hear that machine. It's got two axes that are only going. One axis goes in your Cartesian coordinates, going in the X, and the other one's going up and down in your Y. And then if you've got a 3D or a 5 axis, you're starting getting all sorts of, this is Z plus and Z minus going down into the page, and you start to get those machines. They do not work absolutely. They're rated to a certain, the servos can't keep coming back to the same place. They cannot. They start to wear out. The ball bearings wear out. Anything you tighten up and get backlash, it comes out. You're getting error. You're getting error inside there. Error in everything. Errors in everything. And the circle, when you look at it, if you magnified that circle, it looks like that. It's because it draws a line. It just cuts a line. Cuts a line, cuts a line, cuts a line, millions of them. Look ahead, there's an algorithm that's working out all the fragments of lines. You know, if you program graphics, if you do graphics, you know that's it. When it does a line, when the machine does that, it tries to crawl up there to do this line. It comes along there and it goes that way to do that line. It's got error because it can't. The computer's doing steps. It's doing steps. It's trying to do this in steps. It's trying to work out this line from there to there, from the end points of it. It's trying to work that out in space. It's difficult. There's a genius called Breezenham that worked all this out. And everybody uses his algorithm. All your little or the new generation of yin and yang guys, whoever the Chinese, whoever used it, and then you can get books and it'll tell you who developed the next formula to speed it up to make it work faster and so on and so on. But it's still all based on the same thing. When you want the thing for a line, you want to work out where that end point is and that end point ain't. There's a formula that tells you where it is. And when it draws that line on your TV screen, on your monitor, the pixels can't draw a line there, accurate line. It draws it in steps like this. It'll do that line. When you get up, get a magnifying glass out, go up to your LCD display, your monitor, your fancy, your fancy doodah monitor with 50 gillion glops in it, whatever it is. It's like that, the little steps. Pixels. Remember your graph paper when you had your little squares? That's mechanically exactly how the lines are being drawn. It takes the next nearest one. It can't do. It can't draw a line because you've got these little blocks in grids. So if it wants to draw a line from there to there, it doesn't. It draws like that little bit. Then it goes, what's next? Where's the nearest next one? Where's the nearest next one? I said, it's over here, right? And it draws that like that. And then they do a little confuser algorithm that blurs it. So when you look at it on the screen, it fattens the line. It fattens the line up a little bit, and it blurs it, and it changes what's it called? It changes the pixel value for that line. So that line is the grayed out line. It uses confusion. It uses confusion to make you think that's a perfectly straight line. You look at your monitor and you'll be disappointed. Get a magnifying glass, a good one, 10 power, little binocular thing, like they use at the opera, not the opera, monocular thing that Patrick Moore had. Remember that little thing he always wore a single monocular anyway, one of them, and have a look at your screen and see all the little dots. And then you'll be disappointed because analog doesn't do that. Your analog monitor, your analog TV didn't do that. It had lines. It worked it out a different way. It used magnets to throw a beam around all over the place. An electron beam that it throws about. But the quality's shite because it's lines. It's just lines. Everything's just lines. Line fragments and fragments of lines and what have you. And I've scragged my drawing again, and I'm trying to give you an explanation. I've scragged my drawing. I've got to rub it all out. One thing I did do, If you've got to rub the lines out that made your border, rub them out, because I've got only just enough room. I only just had enough room to draw that. If I'd have run out of paper here, I'd have just stuck another piece of paper on and just carried on going. I nearly run out of paper, look, because that's where it's developed. I've actually got more on this side. I've got extra paper here. I've got less paper there. Only up that. So, and I can't shift my drawing over, can I? I'll have to redraw it again. I'll be at it for hours. Look at that, it's 12 o'clock. I thought it was 12 o'clock at night. Is it 12? Oh, I'm going blind. It's just gone after 12. It's taken, how long is it taken? 2 hours or something. Yeah, but somewhere down there. It's taken 4 hours to do this drawing and all the other bits and pieces and thinking and spraying and cleaning all this other stuff up. So this drawing, to all intents and purposes, done. So the top plate, the very top one, this one, the top of the table, this one, the bigger one, these are all lesser. They're Anton the Lesser, or whatever they're calling. They're lesser plates. They're all different. They're marked. I've started to mark the dim-doms on there, look. I've started to mark them on, and I've written it. All this has been done in them times since I'm not looking at you. Right, so from this back of this, where the plate physically starts, plate B, is 225mm overall width, and I can tell you why, because I've drawn it here, and then I measured it from there to there, so I took that dimension. Done. Can't do anything else with that plate. It's done. This plate I don't care about. I'm not making that plate. I am making that plate, but not on this drawing, and will be making it on this drawing, by the way, sorry, but not now. I don't want to confuse it. I don't want to make this face frame, this draw frame. Oh, it's got a bloody name and I can't remember it. I've been trying to rack my brain what that frame's called with a draw sitting on it. It's a rectangular frame. I'll draw it on the back. Look, open up one of your drawers and look down. It looks like this. There's a bloody great hole down inside there. Hey, look, I'm drawing 3D for you. SolidWorks in by hand. Look, on a 5,000 axis machine. Your hand's better. Your hand-eye coordination is not better. It's not, but an approximation of everything. Can you see how you develop something? Can you see inside there? There's a line. Yeah. So inside here, there's a line. Inside there, there's a line, because you've got to work out where it is inside there. I don't know where it is in there, but what I do know is if I draw that like that, and it meets up to there, and I draw that there. Can you see? Can you see? So this is that frame. This one looks like that, and can you see how big that plate is? Do you know why that plate is so big? Right, and this one is not so big. This is at the front, and it's taking the draw structure, so this has to be bang. The thinner you make that, the joints and everything that accumulate, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So I can make it massive and get a good joint in there and get a good glue surface to make this rigid. Because that, your draw will not stay. You will not maintain the gap. Can you see? I've written it in 5. It's important, 5. I've left this gap to allow that to go up and down, to adjust it. I've left a massive 10mm gap in there to allow it to move. When it's done, when this is done, I'll put that plate on. I'm not going to put that plate on yet. I want to get this thing right. When I got this right, and I've got this dead drop here down here, I might use a dummy piece of wood, you know, to get that, and then I'll get another dummy piece of wood and shove it off there to get this gap closed up, and then I'll make that plate, that face plate. That's a separate plate. There's only 2 of them. I'll make them accurate. You know, I won't leave that bloody great gap up there. I'll put 5mm in it. It's 10mm at the moment. I'm trying to lift it up. I keep thinking it's this piece of paper. Look, bottom of door off the bottom of plate B. It's 5mm up. Yeah, 5mm up. There's a 3mm accumulator in there. There's 3mm in there for the gap for the back of the door. The back of the door, you need to keep it offset, and you do that with your bloom hinges. You move them in and out. There's a mechanism inside the bloom hinge. I'll show you if you don't know. If you don't know anything about bloom hinges or any European door type hinge, there's all different ones. There's ones that open at over 50 degrees and all sorts of stuff. Some of the magical ones have got, you know, they go through parallel universe before they get to the other end. Tilt and turn, all sorts of stuff. If you've seen tilt and turn hinges on windows, all that stuff, somebody worked it out. It was a genius that worked all that stuff out. Where are we? Right. I will keep that 10mm gap in there. That's I'm not getting rid of that, because if you have to adjust that door up and down, it'll start to lose. You'll start to lose these gaps. And I was telling you about 2mm. They leave 2.5mm. They leave a 5mm gap between both of them, and it leaves you with 2.5mm to piss about. No. I don't want to do that. I want to maintain a theoretical 3mm gap from the back of the frame, from the vertical frame. That one that the hinge goes on, I want to keep a gap in there, 3mm. I want to keep that precision. You do that by offsetting your hinges. You need to have that, because you don't want your draw racking and hitting the frame. You want a gap. You want a gap. You want to build it in. You have to build it in. There's adjusters on all these hinges. They've got, except for normal hinges don't have adjusters. You've got to re-drill a hole, put a piece of matchstick in that hole, and then redo it. Those who put hang doors know what I'm talking about. If they all do it, they make a mistake, and I'll tell you what they do. They get a bit of wood and they whittle it, right? And then they whack it into that hole with some glue, and then they just re-drill another hole. That's what I do. If I do it, everybody does it. I'm sure they do. I don't know how somebody hangs a door and gets it perfect first time, because they just must do hot holes all day long. And now they use jigs and mortars, and routers and then they hope the jig centres properly. I don't use jigs. I do. I'll tell a lie. I do use jigs, but I can't make them that accurate. Not CNC accurate. I just make them hand accurate. There's you can see the accumulated error. This drawing's for me, and it's not going. No boss is going to see it, right? Nobody's going to see it. You're the only people that's seen it. You're the only people that I have to send a hip squad out after. If I get paranoid, like some of the people that rule us, you don't want to be seen with toilet paper on your foot climbing up an airplane stairs, do you? Yeah, do you? You don't want all your little foibles that you do in darkness with all that kit that you put on. You don't want them coming out. God, I talk bollocks. I don't want anybody coming to get me. Okay, that symbol there, you know what that means? For me, it's my symbol. It doesn't exist. Nobody else uses it. What that tells me is that there's a solid line there and there's a solid line there. That's an intersection. I can't go past this point. And it's on the other side. Can you see it? It's there. And then that's this plate. That's the borders of this plate, yeah? Solid. Then this plate here, the back of this plate from here to here. This plate is not a plate. It's an imaginary line, because this cylinder, this quarter that's coming up, has hit somewhere on the underside of that plate. That line there has to hit the bottom of this, and it's somewhere on that underside this plate. I'm going to put a block. When you look, imagine you see that plate and you're looking up to the ceiling underneath. You're laying on the floor and you're looking up. Right, you will see that. That's what you'll see. You'll be looking into that. But on the back of here, when I bring that physical thing, that physical whatever, yeah, I need to know where this line is so I can land it. When I form that quadrant, it's going to be an independent thing, and it needs to land. And whatever thickness ends up, whatever thickness it ends up as, it's because it's going to be made out of segments, just like your lines are done in CNC. It's going to be made out of line fragments, which are then planed to look like that. The back of it, the physical back of it, has to land somewhere to be fixed, hasn't it? To be fixed in location. So there'll be a block. There'll be a single block that will have the radius on it. And that single block will be somewhere over here, because this material is going to look like this. I've got to make the jig, and it'll be made out of separate independent pieces that I'm about to develop, because I'm going to develop them off here. And it's going to have a piece of timber to restrain it, right? That's screwed. I'll have a piece of timber there that's got the straight reference on it, and the straight reference is what will bring it in. This will have a straight. It'll be just like a dice. Well, you know what? I found them. I don't have what to do with gambling, but it'll look like that, and it'll have a screw going through there, and a screw going through there, And when this is fixed in its position and locked, and I put the blocks in to lock it like that behind, these will be just good. I might even make that out of plywood. I might make that form out of plywood, you know, and then glue and screw it down. Once I've got that front bit in position, I'll put a brass pin there, and I'll put a brass pin there, and I'll put a brass pin there. Bang them into the top. I'll bring this in. I'll park it in. Right. Once it's parked, and this is flat here, and this is flat here. Right. I'm talking about something that's about a month away. It's not happening yet. This piece of wood will have a screw in there, fixed up all the way up. It's going to be long. It's going to be whatever the meterage is, half a meter or 920 mil or whatever it is. It's drawn. I don't know what it is in my head. And this one's the same. It's going to have a screw. You know my symbol for a screw? It's like that. It just looks like that. Okay. It's showing that there's a screw going that way. It's showing that there's a screw going that way somewhere. I never get them right. I've got a pounding at it. Right. Then I'll put glue blocks in. There'll be glue blocks on this bottom plate here. This one, that's a shorter plate. That's going to have glue blocks on it. There's going to be glue blocks. There's going to be blocks everywhere because all these panels are all fixed off these plates. These plates have got to be accurate. Then in the corners, you'll look and open up a piece of furniture and there's blocks inside that have glued down. Everything's referenced off them. You know, the carpenter doesn't have something in space that tells him where he goes. He puts a block in. He sticks a block in like that. And he gets all these little glue blocks in. He puts them in with animal glue or whatever so they can knock them off if he has to. Move them. But put animal glue on, you can warm it up. PVA, you can to an extent, but you can't do it with super glue. You have to chisel it back off. But if you put animal glue, if you put, even if you put something like contact cement, it's going to be a struggle to get it off. Double-sided tape might be your best mate. You know, you're doing it, but double-sided tape's got this creep because it's layers. It's just like layers. It's got a creep. You know, they say it doesn't, but it does. I'll tell you. So all these funny fuzzy wuzzy, I have to work it out. Yeah, any builder has to work out phasing and projecting and everything. It all has to be phased. This is a phasing. So this tube, this quadrant's coming down like that, and it lands. So you're looking up, and this is exactly what's going to happen down there. I have to draw that on. I'm going to leave it because it's something for my brain to look at and work out. I've drawn the jigs upstairs, believe it or not, this morning when I was after my computer crashed, and I just recovered it and I started uploading again because my computer crashed yesterday. It dead. SSD died. Poof. Decided to give up. No more SSD drives from my boot drives ever again. It's going back to hard drive technology. Yes, it boots up fast and everything, but I do not want it to die again. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to go up there and have a big blue shiny screen. Not having it. This is 23. Okay, well, we're going to end this now, and I'm going upstairs because I'm pounding headache. And I'm going to upload this one. So I'm uploading this right now. Just after 12, I'll process it. It'll take 45 minutes to an hour for YouTube to accept it. It takes ages to upload to YouTube. Thousands and millions of people uploading to all the same places through all the same networks. How many million separate individual lines and shit they've got? It still takes time. It takes finite time. That's why you can't have artificial intelligence if it comes live, because it's just finite time. When they make technology that can think at the speed of thought, then maybe yes, and maybe it'll come to life. I heard that sometime. I heard that a telephone exchange. They thought that a telephone, AT Bell and Bell in America, had to turn their exchanges off because it got consciousness, group consciousness. And did they hide that? Did it really happen? Does anybody know? Sometime in the 80s or 90s it came to life and they had to turn all the exchanges off in America to shut it off. Why? Because it was analog. Analog. What kind of life did it? What kind of life was it? What type of life did it have? You know, it ain't going out and going shopping, is it? Go and find a girlfriend. Are we all in it? You know, this one. Check it. Don't shut the lid and have that break. Check it. Make sure it's all goodly. Check it. Close it. Right. Come back 2 days later or whatever. I'll come back and I'll I'll do the Zen and put all this lot away. Yeah. How many times? What's it take to roll a 6? That's my luck. I won't go to what's it called it. I won't go to where I've just give me money away. It takes too much to earn it to put it away, doesn't it? You can't. Am I persistent? Prelude to death. Bend your back and pop it out. Right, that's enough.